So I guess because you are in this room, you are somehow or the other building some type of connected device or related software and service. So how many of you are building device? Couple, 4, 5. How many building software or services related to IoT? Great. So I have been building connected devices officially since last 2 years. So I was asked to talk about it. So hopefully you will find some interesting lesson from here. Who am I? I think this slide is sort of redundant now because he gave a very good introduction. So I built a microprocessor at Intel, also built connected car entertainment products that are right now used in Dalmar. And I pushed Intel to build Arduino equivalent products with Intel microprocessor. So that was my 4 years in the corporate world. And then in 2014, I started my own startup that was called Lighthouse, which is a voice platform for controlling smart home devices. So it didn't work quite well the way I expected. So recently I joined Obi as a co-founder. So we are building a dog wellness platform that keeps track of a dog food and water intake throughout the life cycle of the dog, so it is not overweight, and that way you can take care of your dog. So my co-founder she has 2 dogs and she loves dogs, so that's what I'm doing right now. So why do you care? Last 2 years, it's full of challenges and obstacles. So as you can imagine, if you are in the startup world for some time, so it comes with its own challenges, and I wanted to share a couple of key learnings so that you don't make the same mistake I made and better prepare for the challenges. So to summarize the whole thing, so as you can see, my background is in engineering, and Forrest did a great job in summarizing this. That it's a big step from engineering to an entrepreneur. So that was really the core of it. So the first, if you go out of this room with one key learning, that's this: sell your prototype. Sell your prototype. If you can't sell your prototype, do not build the product. Now, if you can sell this one, come talk to me. I want to work with you. Chances are you will not sell this one, but if you can't sell this one, you have to go back to drawing board and figure out the real customer need and what is it that you are probably missing, something that is not captured in your product, and go refine it. This is one of the observation I had recently, that you will observe that some businesses have more resource than others. So you can argue in different ways that they probably had better connection or they're better fundraiser, things like that. But in the core of it, you will see that they somehow nailed a segment in the market which has a lot of demand. Either they created it or they discovered it. So if you can create that, or if you can find out that segment, then your job becomes easier moving forward. So one good example is Open Bionics. So they build 3D printed prosthetic hands for kids. So when they started the project, they were building like normal hands, hands that look like our hand. And once they keep doing customer research and talking to customers, they find out that kids actually do not want normal hands. They want Iron Man hands. So, and since then, it's been a great journey for them. So you see how knowing your customer better can actually feed back to a great product and eventually great business. So build in phases. This is actually really important for if you are building hardware startups. So as I guess you all are familiar with how resource intensive these electronic products are. So if you think that you can break it into phases, don't be shy of that. If you think that you can make a software version of it before you really build the hardware, don't be shy of that. For example, SoundFocus is one of the company. They build good hearing equipments. So they started as an app, and they built traction from there, and then right now they're, I think, working on the product. And another example is Nomico. They make connected sous vide products. So how many of you are familiar with sous vide? No? You? Good. So sous vide it's a machine that you can use to cook really great, like soft foods at your home. And it's actually widely used in good restaurants, but people are generally not aware of that. So they brought sous vide machine to consumers. So when they released their first product, so it's a connected device, but their first product was not really, it didn't have any wireless Wi-Fi or anything, no apps, nothing. It's just a machine. It's just a sous vide machine that can cook. There was nothing Wi-Fi or anything. And so that's how they cut their cost, and it helped them going to market faster. And now their second product, they included Wi-Fi and apps and all those complicated stuff and made it more compelling. So these two are, I think, the great examples. SoundFocus is a YC company, and then Nomico, they are doing great. So great examples of how you can build your, divide your product in phases and go to market faster and build your audience. One of the common mistakes for first-time hardware entrepreneurs, especially, like they really lack the understanding in terms of number. So initially, the amount of resource you think you need, you'll end up needing more than that, much more than that. So this is a quote from the Nest founders, but I mean, it's not really. It's like that if you are more well informed about it, not necessarily is that exact number. But to give you an understanding of the cost of building a product, hardware product. So if I talk to, if I ask an entrepreneur that, okay, what's the cost, then they will essentially say that, okay, my BOM cost is $30, so I'm planning to sell it in direct to consumer $99. But there are other components beyond your BOM cost. There are a lot more other components, like your tooling and your inventory, your assembly, and some part you will have like some scrap components, and then certification, like inventory cost, tax, shipping, packaging, and so on. So this is just a sample, but you sort of need to fill out and have an understanding of, rough understanding of, okay, how each of those numbers might look like. The another thing is timeline. I guess some of you might be familiar with this. So if you look at the beginning of the hardware timeline, so you have to make sure that you have your initial traction and initial funding by the time you are in the prototype and ME phase. Like, don't go to the dev phase unless you have enough resource, because what if you are stuck in the middle between dev and tooling, and then you don't have enough resource to move forward? So these are like, you have to fill out your gap between those timelines depending on what product you are making and what resource you have. But it's sort of an idea. And in general, if it takes like 9 to 12 months and roughly $500,000. So if you are a first-time entrepreneur, if your product is beyond $500,000 to make it to the market, try to reduce the features. I know a lot of people will say that you need millions and 2 millions and 3 millions, but try to make something for first time that you can ship it to market within $500,000. That's like your fastest path to cash. And finally, make friends. So hardware is a polygamy business, really. You are, if to go to market, you are into a lot of relationship. Your relationship with your manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and so on, keep going on. So this is an interesting slide take from Bolt's blog. So I highly encourage you guys to read Ben's blog. Yeah. So if you have any question, feel free to reach out to me, and thank you.